I like pouring water on electronics. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are so inclined. In today's video we're continuing on the SteelSeries train. We've got this, the Apex Free gaming keyboard. Now this is the cheapest from the Apex range, coming in at a mere £60. Next day delivery on Amazon, quite cool. If you're in America however, it's about 50 USD plus tax, but I don't know what your taxes are. So there you are. Anyway, what does this keyboard have? This right here, the IP32 water resistance. That was the reason I got this keyboard, because the others in the range that are more expensive don't have this, which I find quite remarkable, and then realised this is probably a result of this. What SteelSeries are calling their whisper quiet gaming switches, which I'm sure is marketing speak for. They're not mechanical, and they're unashamedly cheap, but we're going to market them anyway. Now this is also compatible with the Xbox, the PS4 and indeed a Mac. Now if you are using a Mac, you don't have the Mac layout on the keyboard itself, it is the Windows layout, and in this instance this is the UK layout because I live in the UK. Now it is RGB. Honestly I don't care for the RGB, but I know some of you do. Now it's not addressable. Individual keys cannot be changed colour. There are 10 zones on this, it says so right here. Now each key, I've just read it as well, each key it says switch rating. Guaranteed 20 million presses. I mean, I smash delete quite a lot in my job, but I don't think it's 20 million times. So anyway, without further ado, we'll open this bad boy up, we'll have a look, see what it's like. Okay, so what's in the box? Well, first and foremost, we have the instructions. Now, I've had a quick look through this, and it's 5 pages because it is multilingual, so spread among many, many languages. But who needs instructions? I'm sure I know how to use a keyboard. Anyway, we also have this, which is what SteelSeries call a premium magnetic wrist rest. Now, I don't think that it is. That doesn't sound premium to me. Now, it does have the magnets on it. There are only 2, presumably because they didn't want to put a magnet there where the SteelSeries logo was. But yeah, it sticks, but there's already a load of marks on it, which worries me a bit. Now, I did have one of these from Razer, and it was a very plush sort of leatherette, or leather sweat, as I like to call it, coming over, which was remarkably comfortable for about 15 minutes, and then your sweat and heat from your wrists would just start to build up. Now, judging by the marks on this, I'm going to say it's probably the same, but I haven't tried it, so I don't want to say, but it's definitely not premium SteelSeries. Now, here we are, the main event, the board itself. Now, when I took this out of the box, I was pleasantly surprised. It is actually quite an attractive keyboard. I don't dislike it in any way. Now, it's not particularly rigid. It's definitely an all-plastic frame. And it feels a bit... It doesn't feel cheap, but it doesn't feel premium in any way. But then you wouldn't expect that at this price point. The only bit of metal on here is this aluminium wheel, and it's kind of graty. I like to feel the grooves, but not hear them when I do this. But again, it doesn't feel bad for a £60 board. And here's the Multimedia Key from SteelSeries, which is for playing and stopping, skipping, all that with music. Cool, I suppose. And then we have this, the RGB. I really don't care for RGB, but here it is. Now, I don't dislike it when it's white beneath, just so I can see the keys if I'm working in the dark, like a weird person at night time making videos for YouTube. Anyway, the actual letters themselves, it's not overly bright. They've made the letter print really quite large, just so they can get some of that diffused light through. Now, the light is diffused by the membrane beneath, which is what gives it its water resistance. Now, before we get onto that, with the build quality, there is something that I really want to show you. Look at that, a single thumb, and the flex is unreal at the center point. Once you've got these legs down, not great, and I feel like I could just snap the board back over on itself. Now, I have unplugged this so I can have a bit of a typing test. Now, they don't feel bad, to be fair, don't these keys? They're definitely whisper quiet because they're not mechanical, much as the marketing said, and they don't feel too bad. And the housing themselves, they do pop off. However, I don't think that you can get replacements for these. I didn't see any on the SteelSeries website anyway, but I wasn't looking for a great deal of time. But the keys themselves do play a part in this IP32 water resistance, so I did say I'd give a brief explanation of what that was. Now, IP32. IP means Ingress Protection. The first digit refers to against solids, so from massive solids like rocks, all the way to finest like dust. Now, dust is number 6 on this. Now, this is number 3, which means it's definitely not dust resistant, but I'll come on as to why. Number 2 refers to liquids, so in this instance, the water resistance that it's talking about. So, I believe 2 on the scale means that it can withstand a spray of water or a spray of a liquid from about 60 degrees. The reason the keys are important in this is because, look, if I take these off, I'll do the arrow keys because then I don't need to remember where the letters go. But if I take these off, you can see here, there's like a white tower stack coming from what they call the membrane, which is just a lump of plastic, to be fair. So as the key sits over the top of these, it acts like the roof, I suppose, on your house. If liquid comes onto it from spilling, anything like that, it would in fact go onto the top of this, roll off the side, over the side of this housing here, this actual white plastic tower, I suppose it is. And then the water would simply run down this plastic membrane that they call it, that runs the full length of the keyboard. All of this is angled down towards the front, where there's a little channel in here. And then you get this, these 4 portholes at the bottom, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The liquid simply drains out of the bottom of there, which I find quite interesting. I don't think it's a deliberate design. I think it's just a byproduct of how these keys are made. That's pretty much it. And they've used the plastic to diffuse the light. And then that's given them this. It's given them something to market the product with. Now I think the only thing to do now is to get it plugged in. Have another look at the lights, because yay. And then we'll just pour water on it. Seems weird saying that, but let's go. Righto, so I've got my water. I'll keep the branding sealed because I do live in the United Kingdom and apparently my government doesn't like that sort of thing. But this always feels strange, doing this kind of test, because this is actually in a room with a lot of money's worth of electronics. Now I appreciate that you probably knock the glass over, however, I don't want any spillage going anywhere. But let's just have a look and see how it works. Now that seems pretty quick. Now a lot of it did just roll over the top, and we've had some. Is it draining out of the ports at the bottom? Yes, but it definitely took its time. Definitely took its time. Well, it's quite cool, to be fair. And if you do need to drain it, you just tip it. So it does work. Again, I don't want to start hitting the keys, because it is wired into a computer that's currently doing something. And I genuinely don't know what. The monitor's not plugged in. But I'm quite pleased with that. If you are going to knock your drink over, make sure it is water. If you do this with pop or soda, if you're from the Americas, the keys will still become remarkably sticky. And there's nothing you can do about that, except clean and clean and clean. And could you really be bothered at this price? Probably not. I'll just get another one. But I'm quite pleased with that. It's not the best built keyboard in the world. It's £60 or 50 USD. You're not going to get something amazing, but it's pretty good looking as long as you don't look down the side. Try not to karate chop it in the middle and you'll be fine. If you're a parent and you're buying something for your child, this wouldn't be a bad purchase, to be fair. You've got the protection against most spills anyway, and it's not that expensive. And it looks better than it actually is, and that'll cheer your kids up. So, if that's for you, then get it. If not, if you're a proper hardcore enthusiast gamer, no, go mechanical. Always mechanical. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been quite a cool little video to make, and I like pouring water on electronics. It's quite good fun, but I'm going to have to clean this up now because this is a remarkable amount of shop towel that I've just wasted for you all. God bless the rainforest. Anyway, have a nice evening, everyone. Goodbye.